This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
You are plugged in for the Podcast Wrestling Society, where you can get dynamic weekly pro wrestling and MMA-related content. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PODWRES Society so that you can stay in the know.
Faith is the place, and the sky's the limit.
And if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Now, your host, he is the one and only Troy Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on NBC, it's Saturday night's main event. Not really, but we are covering the greatest moments and most memorable moments here on the Podcast Wrestling Society. I am your loving leader, benevolent host, Midwest Monster, and your master of ceremonies today, Troy Adams. And joining this mega-powered team here today is the macho man to my Hulk Hogan brother. Feel the madness and dig it! It's Greg. What up, Greg?
Snap into it.
Oh man, you and I both want that new, and Ramon too, want that new Macho Man figure that comes with the Slim Jim packaging and everything.
I will have that.
Yeah.
It will be mine.
I may never get it, but I want to. It's not that I don't want to. It's just more lack of fundage than a lack of, desire. But yeah, man, it's been a while since we talked here today. It's been a while since we talked, not here today. You know what I mean. Bears don't eat crap. But you know what I'm doing?
What the hell?
I don't know. You ever see that movie Wild Hogs?
Yeah.
That guy where he was, they yell at him. They're like, because he's talking about tying his bag up. And he's like, you don't need to do that. And he's like, why? And he's like, bears don't eat crap.
I remember that part, yeah.
Me and my wife just yelled at each other sometimes, just to be stupid. But anyway, we haven't talked in a while. What's been going on with you as far as wrestling goes?
Well, I went to Raw last week, so that's why we recorded last week.
Right. I did get for those of you who didn't get to listen, I had the great Karen Bland on with me yet again. We reviewed Super Showdown, talked a little bit about what's been going on in New Japan. He's also the boxing guy amongst my friends, so we talked a lot of boxing. But how was Raw?
It was pretty fun. It was, our section was like very empty.
Yeah.
We literally had like a whole section to ourselves.
Not bad. Better than sitting next to a big sweaty Mark.
There was a couple of those, but they were on the other side of us. But yeah.
They had the look, bro.
I'm not saying anything.
Well, that's okay. Ramon always fills me in with plenty of pictures whenever you guys go to the indie shows out there.
Oh, yeah. We went to one on Saturday. Saw Ty Dillinger. What's his name again? Sean Spears.
Sean Spears, yeah.
Saw Jungle Boy's last match.
Yeah. Right before he moves on to AEW officially.
Yeah. And they booked the card pretty weird because the world title opened the show.
Wow.
Weird.
Was that was that the guy you guys called a Samoan werewolf?
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys were sending me hella texts about that. What was it, APW?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were sending me texts about that, and I see Burgundy Pants was there, not in his Burgundy Pants.
Well, he had an old shirt that was burgundy, but he clearly washed it too many times.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, looked like it was burgundy, but it faded out. I'm like, what is with him in the color burgundy?
Like a half hour through the show, he put on a different shirt, by the way.
Oh man, he got too sweaty. It's like when most white people watch Cops.
Oh, man. Holy crap, you said that.
For those of you that haven't seen Step Brothers and don't get the joke, go watch it. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that's funny. And he always sends me pictures, and it's like, and I know what he's getting at. He just sends me a picture of people in the crowd, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what you're getting at here, dude.
Yep.
But it's still funny. Something else big in wrestling that happened over the weekend, and I figured you would be all over this, man, was AAA had their big summer show, Verano de Escalada. I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, this is going great so far.
Yeah, help me out here, man. No, Verano de Escandalos. That's what it is. It loosely translates to Summer of Scandal. So there you go.
Okay.
It's their version of SummerSlam, basically. So it's their big summer show. It was, I guess, headlined by the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks for the AAA tag titles. The Lucha Bros won, so they are the new AAA tag team champions now. So there you go. The show was closed out by a tag team match that was, or I don't know if it was opened or I think it closed the show here. It was Dr. Wagner Jr. and Psycho Clown defeating Blue Demon Jr. and Taurus. For those of you who don't know, the upcoming Triple Mania show, that's like their big one of the year, and you and I laughed at Triple Mania 26 last year because of how ridiculous it was.
Laughing's an understatement. I think we broke our ribs.
Yeah, it was, oh my gosh, they had a 30-minute video of all the gaffes in the show, so that just tells you something there. But Dr. Wagner Jr. lost his mask in the main event 2 years ago. He's taking on Blue Demon Jr. in the main event this year. It's going to be mask versus hair, because Blue Demon Jr. still has his mask. Wagner still has his hair. So will Wagner be shaved and maskless, or will Blue Demon lose his mask? So I'm looking forward to that. And when it comes closer to either to review the show or preview the show, I'm getting my buddy Santiago to join us on the podcast to talk about it, because he's been a big AAA fan. But that show will be coming up August, I believe. So you'll be pretty busy for the month of August. So I may have to get a guest host a few times.
Yeah. Looking at the calendar, pretty busy.
Yeah, maybe we can record some stuff, get it in the can one of these weeks here soon. But we'll see how things go. Anyway,
and then July too,
yeah.
probably. Well, only one, but.
Oh man. Well, we'll see how things go, and we'll try to keep things as seamless as possible moving forward. But yeah, anyway, I guess it's time here to dive into the subject at hand. It was something that you were very excited to talk about. You've been wanting to cover the subject for a while now. It's the best of Saturday night's main event. You have more memories of this, I'm sure, than I do, because this was before my time as far as like when I started wrestling or watching wrestling.
I think this is what started me on it, actually.
Yeah, it got a lot of people involved in the product that didn't really know anything about it before. It was on
NBC, so you didn't have to have cable to see it.
Yeah.
That was the biggest factor, I think.
And it had huge audiences most of the time.
Huge!
Big league audiences. Biggest ever in the history of NBC. Bigger than Leno.
Except for The Apprentice.
That had the best. It was the greatest, best ratings of all time. But... this was considered during wrestling's second golden age years ago. I mean, this was what was the original run date here? Like 80.
I think it was 86 to 92.
Yeah, I guess May 11th, 1985 was the first one.
Oh, 85, right.
Yeah, and then it ran fairly consistently until April of 1991. And then it made a return for a couple of years in March of 2006 and went to August of 2008. I remember those ones. I don't know if I watched every single one. I think I did. I don't know. Nothing really pops out at me as like, yeah, I remember when that happened on Saturday Night's Main Event. You know?
Yeah, but when it came back, there was nothing really big about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was more just like a nostalgia thing. It was big, but I think back in the day, it almost felt like an extra pay-per-view. When it returned, it was just kind of like another show. You know, it was a big show, but it was another show.
Yeah, it didn't have that. It didn't have that feel because Raw and SmackDown are every week, whereas this was like a, every other month or so special.
Well, plus you got to think the original run. There was what 3-4 pay-per-views a year. I mean, there for a while there was like one.
Well, there was WrestleMania, and then I guess that was it.
Yeah,
Survivor Series came in '87, and SummerSlam in '88. Royal Rumble started '89 on pay-per-view. So yeah.
Yeah, so there for a while, I mean, this was in place of their pay-per-views, so it basically was a pay-per-view, and it got out to a much, much larger audience. This is like, this was bigger than the WWE Network because you didn't, like you said, you didn't have to pay for this. Everybody got NBC.
Yeah.
So this was a completely different situation than that. But there were a lot of big moments throughout the history of the show. Some bigger than others, I would say. All of the episodes are actually available for streaming on the WWE Network right now.
Only $9.99, by the way.
Oh yeah. However, the episodes on the network are not 100% original. May 85 through January 88 episodes do not have the original opening and closing theme songs, probably for trademark purposes. Sponsored segments that aired as part of the original broadcast, such as the Mountain Dew Slam of the Night, have been removed as well. That's not a big deal. It's not like, that was a crucial part of the show that they're
careful you say away. That too, but yeah, I agree.
Well, and I'm looking here, help me out here, because it says the original network, it says NBC and Fox. Did this air on Fox?
Fox was the, when it came back in 1991, I think.
Oh,
late
really?
91, early 92. Yeah.
So NBC stopped airing them?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I'm going to assume this was before they were with USA Network, which carried all the other shows. So, yeah.
I think, because when was the first Raw?
1993.
Okay.
A year after this, stopped airing, I think. Maybe less than a year. Definitely the next year, though.
Right. Well, the original theme song, I'd have to look this up because I don't know this one. Obsession by Animotion.
Yeah.
And then
I think that song was on Grand Theft Auto Vice City, actually.
I'd have to check it out.
That's how I know it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. The second theme song was just called Saturday Night's Main Event by Douglas Grama, whatever. So they got their own custom theme. But then when it returned in 2006 and went all the way to 2008, the theme was Boom by POD.
Yeah, I actually love that song.
Yeah, I do too. But there was also the main event. Do you remember that? Or it wasn't Saturday Night's Main Event?
That was the Hogan Andre match, actually. It was on a Friday.
Yeah, it was a spinoff of Saturday Night's Main Event that aired on NBC on Friday nights during prime time. There were 5 shows total between 88 and 91. Only the first 3, the main event episodes, were shown live on NBC. The final 2 were taped and then shown on NBC at a later date. And yes, it included mainly high-card wrestlers of the WWF, like Hogan, Andre, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Teddy DiBiase. See, that right there, that statement, just to, for people who aren't familiar, that wasn't a thing back in the day. Like, if you were watching, like, what was there back then? Superstars of Wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
then, there's another one.
Wasn't it just WWF
Superstars.
Worldwide or...
No, that was WCW.
Oh, okay. Prime
I think it
Time?
was just Super Prime Time, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Primetime Wrestling. Yeah. Those shows, for those of you out there, you didn't get to see competitive matches on those 9 times out of 10.
Well, you're lucky to get one at the end, but you just, looking back at it, you knew who was going to win.
Yeah, and it wasn't big matches with stipulations or stakes involved or anything like that. It was a lot of squash matches and one-sided endeavors that you kind of you knew what was coming. This was not that. I mean, I don't know if every single match up and down the card was, a super competitive, high-stakes match, but they tried to keep it entertaining and something that was like, oh, well, this is, it's like it matters. If I miss this show, I'll actually miss something, which is why it's very comparable. I felt that way.
I really did when I was a kid.
Yeah, which is it's comparable to pay-per-views in today's world or network specials or whatever the hell you want to call them.
Except the Saudi Arabia ones.
Oh, God, yeah. If you miss those, you miss absolutely nothing except for Shane McMahon winning again. But
that's in the world.
Yeah. Wow, I'm going to smack you. But then there's... and I brought this up to you. It was kind of like their version of Clash of the Champions, right?
Pretty much.
Because, before there was...
Actually, I think this came first, though. So,
I'm looking it up now, actually, because I got to remind myself.
Clash of Champions went head-to-head WrestleMania 4, I believe. So, this definitely came first.
Yeah, so basically Clash of the Champions was their version of Saturday Night's Main Event, almost. It aired on TBS, and the original air date for that was March 27th, 1988. So 3 years after the very first ever Saturday Night's Main Event. And this one, the Clash of the Champions was like this in the way of it was basically their version of a pay-per-view. But weren't they always free on TV, though?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, so it was kind of the same thing. And the only difference is like Saturday Night's Main Event and the Main Event were just that. There were no numbers, taglines, nothing like that. Whereas Clash of the Champions always had a number to it. And it always, you look through the list, there's, Miami Mayhem, Fall Brawl, Seasons Beating, St. Valentine's Massacre, Ragin' Cajun, the list goes on and on. Some really, really bad ones, but some not so bad ones.
How dare you?
Like this one, Knoxville, USA, but it's not like an X for Knoxville. It's the like knock, like, you're punched or something. And there's
that one's bad.
Yeah, there's Dixie Dynamite.
That literally sounds like a TNA thing.
Yeah. Yeah, right. A lot of these are just so Coastal Crush, Texas Shootout. Yeah, like this just goes to show you it's like they were a down south kind of company. After a while, they just kicked the taglines completely, starting at at Clash of the Champions 21. They never had another tagline after that. But yeah, so either way, they were close, but there was 9 seasons of Clash of the Champions, 35 episodes total. I'm trying to see here. Saturday Night's Main Event, there were 36 episodes. So there was one more Saturday Night's Main Event than there were Clash of the Champions. Either way, but this was pre-pay-per-view, people. Although WCW, I think, didn't get the hint. They were still running these while they were doing pay-per-views, I believe, weren't they?
Yep.
Whatever. That's kind of dumb, but it is what it is. But we're not talking about Clash of the Champions today. We were talking about the great... And we are going to talk about matches, but only if they had something significant, like a significant moment that happened in the match. We're not going to go on about full matches and give episode reviews and stuff like that. This is all about the moments here. And we'll run those down when we come back from our first promo break. Again, our new home of Big Heads Media is where you can check us out. It's bigheadsmedia.com. And we are under the sports and professional wrestling tabs, also under the MMA tab as well. All of our archived episodes are now on there. Go check us out and listen to the archived episodes there, as well as go check it out. They've got a ton of other podcasts, way too many to mention, but we're going to tell you about a couple right here. When we come back, we're diving headfirst into Saturday Night's Main Event. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Jacob.
And I'm his co-host, 5-year-old Olivia.
Do you have kids?
And are your kids curious?
If you answered yes, you should check out Curious Kid Podcast, a weekly educational podcast for curious kids and grown-ups. Every week we learn about another topic.
We've already learned about spiderwebs, batteries, the moon, and so much more.
You can find us at CuriousKidPodcast.buzzsprout.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Do you watch Friends?
Do you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Then you should listen to How I Met Your Friends. Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Julie, and we are the ladies behind How I Met Your Friends, the podcast that explores the similarities and theories of Friends and How I Met Your Mother.
Every week, we watch an episode from each show and dive deep into the crossovers and catchphrases. So if you've ever noticed the similarities between these fantastic shows, come check out our podcast.
You can reach us on social media at How I Met Your Friends Pod or email howimetyourfriendspod@gmail.com.
All right, we're back, and it's time to dive into our moments here. We got a list, bro. Bro, I made a list, bro.
We're going to put it on a poll, bro.
But anyway, first moment we need to dive into that was of real significance, and I told you before we went on air, you're really going to lead a lot of this because you remember this way more than I do. Hulk Hogan took on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in a steel cage match. Was this for the title?
Yes, it was after I'm trying to think of the timeline. I want to say it was like late 86, after WrestleMania 2.
Okay.
So, like, Orndorff comes out to Real American. He stole the song, said he deserved it or something like that. Well, that was the explanation they gave on TV. There's like an urban legend that they accidentally played the song when he was coming out, and Judge Ventura covered it up. So I don't know.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know.
That's weird.
It was one of the better cage matches in that era, too, by the way.
Old Big Blue.
The finish is like the first time this has been done, but they've since overused it. Like both got out at the same time. And then they fought, who hit first, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
it was a good match, though.
So that was the first time one of the first times they used that in the modern era, I guess, or the golden era.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, not saying they were the first to do it. People out there, don't get mad, nerds, and send me an angry letter.
But they've definitely done it the most.
Yeah. Well, I heard about those big cages. You remember when they took old Big Blue and they changed it to black bars in the Attitude Era? Well, according to Bruce Pritchard, the reason they stopped using that cage was after St. Valentine's Day Massacre, when Vince McMahon had to wrestle in that damn thing. And he was like, wow, that cage sucks. And they said, yeah, we've been telling you that for years.
I think Bret Hart was the biggest proponent of it.
I will say this.
I think he said it felt like more of a cage. I think it was him that said that. Like a wrestling cage, anyway. It's not like a traditional mesh fence. Well, they were the only ones to ever, as far as I know, ever use that like a different kind of cage. Everybody else I've ever seen, like any territory or promotion or whatever, has always used like the Cyclone cage until TNA came along. Then they changed it up a couple of times. But I've never seen any other federation or organization or territory ever use a cage like that. That was weird. I liked it, though. Like, as a fan, visually, I loved it. But, I don't know. I heard it was really hard to work with because there was absolutely zero freaking give. Yeah, I can imagine. They're just hard bars.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I guess it looks more brutal rubbing somebody's face into the steel mesh rather than rubbing somebody's face into that. Yeah, but
I imagine if you go back first in a steel mesh, it might be easier than going
much
straight bars.
Right, yeah. That would... I'd be like, screw you. I don't know how many bumps, like a Hogan took into that thing. But that was the first one. Speaking of cage matches, that was leading in. Well, that couldn't have been after WrestleMania 2. That must have been beforehand, the steel cage, because we made a chronological list, and King Kong Bundy squashed Hogan before WrestleMania 2, and that was their cage match.
Yeah.
So, did you watch that one live, or
I was 2.
So maybe.
So I'm thinking no.
Maybe. That doesn't mean anything. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, Hogan, for those of you, played up the whole, Bundy squashed him multiple times with the avalanche and like busted up his ribs. And
yeah, but Orndorff was still faced during this, so it had to happen after that.
Okay, so maybe we got our chronological order wrong. I don't know. Because I remember we've covered, for those of you in the YouTube archives, we have covered Hogan, or all of WrestleMania 2, and that's where Hulk Hogan took on King Kong Bundy in the steel cage, and that was where Hogan came out, ribs taped up, and absolutely no-sold the fact that he supposedly had a rib injury throughout that whole match. That was great.
Well, he hulked up.
Oh yeah, from the get-go. But either way, yeah, I mean that, and the weird thing was that was the second best match on that entire WrestleMania 2 card.
We're behind the epic boxing match. Yeah, we got.
Oh my god, you need stabbed. That's 2 for one episode. You're gonna get stabbed. But yeah, so for those of you, it's in the YouTube archives. Go check out our WrestleMania 2 review. With Greg being out here and there for the next couple of months, I may have to make that a non-YouTube exclusive and just make it a podcast here at some point. So keep your eyes out for that one. That's a possible future episode. But yeah, Hogan got crushed, And the weird thing was, I brought this up to you about Hogan wore some weird stuff every once in a while on Saturday Night's Main Event. He wore, I went back and watched this. He was wearing white knee pads with his yellow boots and yellow trunks during this.
I think in his book he said there were times where he just couldn't find certain gear.
Well, it's weird that he had some, like the white knee pads, we know where they came from because he used to wear the blue trunks and the white knee pads, and then he switched to the red and yellow all the time. But there was one, and I don't know if it was a significant one, I just happened to see a clip of a match he was in. I don't even remember who he was facing, but he was wearing green, like a pale pea green for his trunks and his boots, and then he wore red knee pads. And I went, what the F are you wearing?
New look, brother.
He's like, I got these when they wanted to make me Irish, brother. But yeah, so a lot of these moments, by the way, spoiler alert, was a lot of these were involving Hogan. So
what was his show?
Basically, yeah. After the King Kong Bundy thing, that led into WrestleMania 2. Which came next? Because we've got this moment on there twice. Hogan Andre 2. Was that before or after?
That one came after WrestleMania 3.
Okay, well, which came first? Honky Tonk versus Macho and the Mega Power. Oh, that was after.
That's after,
right?
Yeah.
So the twin referee angle was Hogan Andre 2, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So the twin referee angle, for those of you unaware, this was 87. I remember on...
Nope, 88.
88? Okay, well...
February 88.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it was after 87, or at least late 87 or after 87, because Pritchard talked about this at length on his show, Bruce Pritchard, for all of you. He talked about he was hired in 87, and they asked him when he was at Gorilla, they're like, do you want to know the finish of the main event? And he was like, nope, I'm good. He was like, do I have to know it? They said, well, no. All right. And he's like, okay, then don't tell me. He said he was confused as hell watching that, and he thought this is the greatest angle of all time. It was great. And then Hogan did the interviews afterwards. Like, I remember like that iconic image of like he sees one referee, he sees the other referee, he grabs them both by their shirts and like hold them and like looking back and forth like, how are there two of you?
My favorite was like, how much money did they spend on plastic surgery?
Yeah. Yes, because the whole thing was Andre the Giant was working for under whatever Ted DiBiase, and Ted wanted. Was this where Andre won the belt and gave it to Ted?
Yeah. Are we supposed to say belt?
God dang it, championship, pal. It's not a belt, damn it. But anyway, you know what? I'm a normal guy, just like the rest of you. I put my pants on one leg at a time, put my championship on to hold them up, you know.
Well, yeah, me too.
I actually used to, I don't know if I still do, but I used to have a big-ass belt buckle it looked like the UFC title. But, yeah, I don't wear that. I don't wear that around too much because, you know, I don't want people thinking I'm too white. But either way.
Got it.
But yeah, so it was Dave Hebner worked for the WWF.
Yeah, he was the ref.
Yeah, and Earl Hebner worked for the WCW. Both are twins, for those of you unaware. And WWF hired Earl right before this. Not specifically for this, but according to Pritchard, it was because Dave wanted to stop refereeing and take a backstage role, and Earl kind of wanted to jump ship. So they said, perfect, you'll just step right in. And he said, actually, after this, they called Earl Dave on TV for a while until they finally just gave up and was like, that's Earl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Speaking of, I've already got this joke in a couple times today, but can you think of a more white duo of names than Dave and Earl?
Jim Bob.
Oh, God. But yeah, Dave. So Earl was the evil referee?
Yes.
Okay. And
how apropos what he would do.
Oh my God!
Less than a decade later,
right? I know. Hey, man, he didn't screw Brett. Okay. Well, actually, yes, he did. Doesn't his shirt says "Damn right I did"?
Damn right I did. Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, you can get them out of the back of his van at every indie wrestling promotion you go to. Anyway. He kind of run it down. What happened?
Oh, let's see. I think the referee went down. No, he never went down. I think Earl started the match. Yeah. And then Andre did his double arm suplex, which is like the ugliest finisher I've ever seen, especially for a guy his size. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It looks like he just picks him up and just rolls over on him. And the referee just counts 3 despite Hogan getting up. Just gives the title to Andre. And then he, quote, sells it to the $1 Million Man. And then Dave comes running out. And then Hogan looks at them both and is like, what the hell's going on? And, everyone's confused. And Vince is like, there's two Dave Hebners. What's going on?
For those of you, he was talking about Dave Hebner, not Uncle Dave, who we will not mention here on the show. But anyway.
No, never.
Yeah. But.
I peeked next to him once.
Oh, my gosh. I mentioned that last week. See, I gave you a shout-out on last week's episode, and you didn't even listen. Either way.
In my defense, I've been super busy. But
yeah,
I have it in my queue. I really do. I do have it in my queue, I promise.
Better damn well have it in your queue.
I think, if I remember right, Hogan picks up Earl and throws him, and I think he accidentally dislocates his shoulder.
Oh, damn.
I think, if I remember right.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I know he...
Andre and Ted and Virgil. Yeah, Virgil's on there, too.
Hell yeah.
That moment was so great.
Well, yeah, that's why everybody remembers.
That was a huge moment. I didn't watch that live, though. I mean, I was like 4. But I have a feeling I would have cried my eyes out, probably.
Probably. Yeah, well, then the promos afterwards, I can't even remember what it was. Like, Hogan was screaming and yelling backstage, and wasn't he like, they're both the same, or something like that?
Yeah, they look the same, and that's when he asked, how much money did Ted pay for plastic surgery to get 2 guys look the same, all that crap.
See, that's when, like, you thought the world title meant something. Because Hogan was, like, devastated that he lost that title. Now...
Yeah, he had it for 4 years straight. So
yeah. Now Brock loses the title, and he's like, look, I want it back, but I'll take my time.
I got a year?
Yeah. I love when he smacked Heyman. That was great. But yeah, so that was probably, that might be the most iconic moment in Saturday Night Main Event history. Well, it's at least tied in the top 3, I'd say. The
top
next,
5.
Oh man, it's in my fave 5, dog. The next one, this was definitely iconic as well. The Honky Tonk Man took on the Macho Man. Was this for the IC title?
Yes. I think so. No, yeah.
This was the one where they, like, Honky Tonk said that they called him into a room and they wanted him to drop the title to Macho Man, and he said he refused to do it because, according to him, it was like Dick Ebersol, Vince McMahon, Macho Man, and Elizabeth, and him. And he said when he was called in, it was like at the last minute, and they had already devised the plan, and they're like, all right, you're going to do this and this and this. What? And then they turned to Macho Man and kind of like asked for his input and everything, and he said he, quote, felt left out. So,
oh, no.
And he said that he called home and told his wife, and his wife told him, if you let them job you out on TV, you're going to be worthless or something to that effect. So he said no.
Yeah, what the hell made him a huge star?
You know what, man? I don't know. He was the original Elias.
Well, no one wanted to walk with Honky Tonk.
I did. Well, no, you don't walk with Honky Tonk, damn it. You ride with him in his pink Cadillac.
Oh, my God.
He's got Peggy Sue beside him, and the Colonel's in the back. All right? I always love when Eric Bischoff talks about firing his, quote, fat hillbilly ass.
I couldn't wait to fire him.
Yeah, he's like, I wish I could keep him on payroll just so I could Skype him every day and fire him all over again. I'm like, you're such a dick.
You must have really been an ass to him.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, damn, dude, you don't even hate on Beefcake that bad. But
who the hell can hate on Beefcake?
A lot of people. Most recently, I found out Disco Inferno has heat with him because, remember his finisher was the Stunner, and he called it the Chart Buster.
Yeah.
He said that WCW told him quit doing that because now Beefcake's going to do it. When he was the disciple.
Oh God!
How
dare they?
What the hell did he even call that move? Do you remember?
The Apocalypse.
Oh, hell. Of course he did. Was this pre or post DOA in WWE?
Post.
Okay, so he dressed like a biker. His name was the Disciple, and his finisher was the Apocalypse. Like Disciple.
I never thought of that,
yeah.
No.
Disciples of Apocalypse. There you go. And I'll tell you what, as a kid, it took me forever to realize I was Brutus Beefcake.
Yep, me too. The beard and that really did it, though.
Yeah, I know. The beard and the bandana, I was like, the F, and he changed his hair color. But either way, I digress. But yeah, Honky Tonk Man versus Macho Man for the IC title. Tell me what happened here. Because obviously Macho didn't win.
No, this is the formation of the Mega Powers, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the Hart Foundation comes out and they all gang up on Macho Man, and then Liz runs to the back and comes out with Hogan. And he cleans house. And then they shake hands. The epic handshake.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's one of the more iconic moments.
Lock it in, brother. Lock it in. Oh, yeah. That's why I said the twin referee and the formation of the Mega Powers, and then we'll get to it eventually, but the breakup of the Mega Powers, those, I think, are the top three, in my opinion, moments in Saturday Night Main Event history. Am I wrong?
Nope. Those would be mine.
Well, there's one coming up that may be more iconic, but we'll save that.
Iconic.
We'll save that when we'll get to it. Oh my good lord! Before we take our next and final break here, I want to get to this one since we're already on the Mega Powers. It was them versus the Twin Towers. For those of you who don't know, that was what Akeem, the African Dream. # never forget. And,
oh my god!
And
I thought that was a thing with you.
Well, of course. And the Big Boss Man. Or, if we're going, I guess Akeem was probably that guy's best gimmick, absolutely. But then,
hell yes.
And then we've got to go with the Guardian Angel, right?
Oh my god.
Oh man. But anyway, getting back to this, what happened when the Mega Powers and the Twin Towers collided?
Well, this is the one where they break up, actually.
Ah.
So, Macho Man gets thrown out of the ring and he hits Liz. And Hogan picks her up and takes her to the back. I think Hogan comes back out. Macho Man slaps him. I forget the finish at the moment. But then they both go to the back, and Hogan's checking on Liz, and then Savage like attacks him with the belt. I mean, the championship.
Yeah, damn it, pal. What was this the was this the time where like Hogan's like he missed the time cue and he's like over Liz?
Yeah, but they edited that out, I think.
Well, of course, yeah. But in the original, if anybody can find it, I think it's still on YouTube. He looks up, he's like over, like kneeled over Liz, and he like looks up and he's like, "What's my tizime?" or something like that. And they were like, "Dude, you're on now." And he's like, "Oh."
I thought that was funny because it was way ahead of his time with tizime. No pun intended, by the way, but he was hella far into his time.
Well, yeah, he was the first dude to I mean, he was the original brother. Come on, man. But yeah, so that was, and then he like suddenly breaks into tears. Oh God, Liz, ah. And then the iconic moment of Macho's holding the championship, sitting there like pointing at Hogan, berating him, and then they like, he's like, whatever, and they start to walk away, and Macho runs up behind him and just blasts the crap out of him in the back of the head, and just knocks crap all over the room. Liz is screaming. Iconic, man. They show all that in the build up to WrestleMania 6 or 5, right? 6 was Warrior. My bad. We review WrestleMania 5 in the archives, actually. Go check that out. But yeah, so the Mega Powers exploded, brother. Good stuff. And this was right before, not too long before the Macho King, right?
It's the same year, yeah. It's eventually going to happen.
Yeah. So no more Liz, and enter Sherry Martel.
Scary Sherry.
But all right, when we return, there's a lot more iconic moments to dive into here. We're going to go from mid-golden era here. This next moment, man, involves somebody we've already talked about a little bit, but got to touch on it. We'll be right back after telling you about these other great podcasts here on the Big Heads Media Network.
Hey, we're Renee.
And Adrian.
And we are
the Outlandish Historians. We're sisters,
nerds,
and lovers of all things history.
Except bell bottoms. Keep that in the past.
Come hang out with us on the Dear World of History podcast, where we'll frolic through time
as we chat and geek out over the good, the bad, and the downright ugly history of the world.
We promise you don't have to be a licensed historian to travel through time with us.
Maritime disasters?
Check.
Historical serial killers?
Check.
Glamorous and petty royals?
Check and check. You can find us almost anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Follow us on Twitter at Dear Historians and Instagram at Outlandish Historians.
So chug that drink me bottle and come on down the rabbit hole. It's going to be a wild ride.
And we're back. And you know what? How we come back nice and hot here on this Saturday night's main event show, Greg. We got to talk about Brutus the effin' Barber Beefcake.
Yes, please.
More of that. This was one of the, in my opinion, one of the more memorable Barber moments. He took on Outlaw Ron Bass, shaved that dude's head.
And then Bass would get him back by shaving his head later, I believe, or cutting his hair.
Didn't he blast him in the, like, bust him open with his spur?
Yeah. I believe he whipped him with his, the whip, I think.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, like, I guess Beefcake bled pretty bad from this, and they said, didn't they put that, like, sensor thing up over his face?
Yeah. A huge X, or, no, it was like one of those not smoking signs, like a circle with a line through it, something like that.
Yeah, I think it said censored or something like that. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, he busted Beefcake the hell open. Well, is this like, they had an actual match, didn't they, where Beefcake just, like, put him to sleep?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Ron Bass was over as hell in the territory days. Not so much in the WWF, I don't think.
Well, they didn't like the Southern Wrestlers.
Yeah. I mean, this was his only memorable program, wasn't it, with Beefcake?
I can't think of any other ones.
Yeah. Came in, got his hair cut, blasted Beefcake with his spur, beat the hell out of him, and I think Beefcake just beat him, didn't he?
Yeah, he ended a lot of streaks. I don't know why he was the guy. He was the first one to be Mr. Perfect, too.
Well, because he's Brutus the effing Barber, man. Why not?
That's true. What was I thinking?
And I guess he was super, like, people say he was super paranoid because when they first labeled him Brutus Beefcake and he was supposed to have, like, a male stripper persona type deal, he was going to walk out on the company right then and there because he thought they were messing with him and they were trying to rib him. And then when they gave him the Barber persona, he did the same thing. He was about ready to quit and walk out again, and Hogan had to talk him into staying.
And now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how about that? By the way, I have a Jax figure of Brutus Beefcake.
Of course you do.
Well, why wouldn't I? He's Brutus the effing Barber.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, this was still... I mean, Brutus Beefcake was cool and all, but I preferred the Booty Man.
With his special move, the high knee.
Hell yeah, man. That doesn't scream main eventer. I don't know what does. And later on, he would go on to be Brother Booty. Not making this up, people. But yeah.
This is all after... what was that guy's name of the Dungeon of Doom?
Zodiac?
Yeah, the Zodiac.
Yes. No. Yes, no. He made an appearance in Mr. Nanny.
Why? Did he really?
Yeah.
Also, I've never seen that movie.
How have you never seen Mr. Nanny? Like, you're a huge Hogan
one I've ever seen.
Have you seen Santa with Muscles?
I have, yeah.
Oh, God, I haven't even seen that crap. No, Hogan, like, the opening scene where you see Hulk Hogan, he's, like, fishing on a dock, and he passed out and he's, like, dreaming, and in his dream, he's wrestling, and one of the people he's wrestling is the Zodiac.
Oh, wow. Now I want to see it.
Had to get him paid somehow, brother. But yeah, you mentioned a certain person that Brutus Beefcake ended his perfect streak. Now that's the next moment. Mr. Perfect smashed the WWF title.
Dude, I remember watching. That was one of the first ones I remember watching. And if I remember, I was like horrified.
How dare he deface the winged eagle?
Could he at least get up the non-winged eagle?
Yeah, right. Well, you know, it's okay, Greg, because they had like a million colorful backups when the Ultimate Warrior became champion. So
that's true.
Which, you know, for some reason Sergeant Slaughter still carried around. But when was, like, give me a time frame here. When was this that he smashed the WWF title?
I think it was late '89.
Okay. What's that? WrestleMania.
Right between 5 and 6.
Okay. Why did he smash the WWF title?
Well, him and Hogan were just feuding at the time, and he didn't win it. And he was mad and said if he wasn't going to have it, you finished drinking or what?
Sorry.
He said if he wasn't going to have it, no one was, and him and the Genius broke it.
Wow. Well, that's, all right then.
Yeah, that's a reason to break it.
There was a rumor there for a while, and it was debunked, and it's not true, that this was the title used for the Hardcore Championship later on.
The real story is even funnier. It's just a freaking toy.
Well, the Hardcore title was a toy, or this belt?
Yeah. All he said was just a toy they broke up and put back together.
Good Lord.
Oh,
that's
man.
funny. Well, the strap wasn't even the same color. I mean, I guess you could have got a new strap, but still. I guess this title was like just junked after it was broke. I think they just threw it away, didn't they?
Or put it on, like, have it in the warehouse. I don't know.
Yeah,
Guess you have to ask Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, yeah, it's probably in his box of gimmicks.
There is no box of gimmicks.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, just like there's no Biff. Inside joke. Sorry, people. Anyway, up next, I almost called him Hollywood. Hulk Hogan took on the Big Boss Man on a Saturday night's main event, and a certain person debuted. This was what I was saying, maybe the biggest moment in Saturday night main event history.
Shut the hell up.
The debut of Zeus.
Oh, man.
Hey,
I like
man.
how he walks to the ring and Zeus is just on the stairs with his arms folded. Like, nobody saw him go there. It's oh, man. Apparently, this was supposed to set up for WrestleMania 6, and I'm glad it didn't.
Thank God. We almost got Zeus versus Hulk Hogan for the title. This was, this was before obviously, because it was his debut, the whole Hulk Hogan versus Zeus, the no holds barred, the match, the movie deal. What was that on TV? Didn't they show like a combo, like the match and then the movie, or vice versa?
Yeah, the movie and then the match.
Okay.
The match was the steel cage match. It was Zeus and Macho against Hulk Hogan and Brutus the effing Barber Beefcake.
Well, and then that wasn't good enough, man. They had to. It was so good they had to put it on SummerSlam.
No, well, that came first.
Oh, excuse
the
me.
rematch was the cage.
So that was so good they had to put it in a cage. And then WCW saw something in this fool so much they hired him and called him Z Gangsta.
Oh, man. And who did he wrestle in his one and only match?
Was it Hogan? I don't even know.
Yeah, he was in it, yeah. It was Hogan and Savage against the Alliance to End Hulkamania.
Now in the archives, we review that stupid, uncensored 96. Which was
first ever 2-on-9 handicap match.
Oh, yeah, baby.
In a 3-tier cage at Uncensored. That's just got money written all over it.
You're damn right it does. I don't know if you're being sarcastic right now, but I don't like your tone. But man, so much. I realize we're digressing a lot in this podcast, people, but I mean, we're talking about things around these characters and involving these guys. We're trying to be entertaining here. Zeus, though, what did he even do in his debut? Like, what happened here?
Well, he was just sitting on this. He was standing on the steps, with his arms folded, and like breathing heavily. You could see his whole upper body moving as he breathed. And Hogan just came out to the cage, and he's like looking around the crowd, like, "Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this?" And I'm like, "You know who that is?" It made some more sense if the movie hadn't came out yet, But
yeah,
well, not that any of this made sense, but it would make some. Yeah.
Well, in kayfabe land, it was stupid because on top of everything, it's like, okay, he's not Zeus. He's Tiny Lister.
Well, no, the story is he convinced himself he really was Zeus, and he wanted revenge for Hulk or Rip winning in the movie. You can't make this up.
Yeah, because
and why would you? We'd be wasting everyone's time.
So stupid. Yet the other actor, well, I don't know, because they said on the red carpet, the one guy who played like the main villain, that like wanted to buy Rip's contract or whatever, he was in like full like kayfabe mode on the red carpet playing his character.
Oh, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Method acting I've ever seen.
For those of you who don't know, that was the a-hole from the mayor's office in Ghostbusters 2. He's the one that sends the Ghostbusters to the insane asylum. But yeah.
He always plays a jackass, doesn't he?
Basically. He's been a good guy in a couple of movies, but he's like that dude, I can't remember his name, from He was the bad guy in Star Wars Rogue One. The one that, like, Darth Vader punks out. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I can't think of his name, but yeah.
Next moment here, the Rockers win the tag team titles, but it never officially aired because during the match, it was a pre-taped match, the ropes broke.
No! Oh, give that away.
the match never made air because during the taping of it, the top rope broke. Vince McMahon thought, well, it looks like crap, we can't use this. And then they acted like it never happened, and then they never gave the Rockers the championships after that.
Yeah. They never won the tag titles officially. I never understood that.
It never made sense. Why did he suddenly decide, you know what? Nah. What?
Well, the official rule was the ropes broke, so the match should have been stopped or something like that. That's what they went with when word started getting around.
Yeah, but then they never gave them the titles. Like, you'd think, okay, let's do a do-over.
They got a rematch on the next episode, and they didn't win. So,
who was that they beat?
The Hart Foundation.
Man, that's just the first time that Brett and Sean went at it, and one of them got screwed.
That should have been like a sign of things to come right there.
Yeah. After that day, Sean never trusted Brett again.
Everyone's like, who's the Jannetty of the team? I mean, no disrespect, I'm sorry, but, Anvil wasn't exactly hot stuff after that either.
Well, no.
Why does Jannetty always get the crap, though?
Because he stayed prominent. Because when the Rockers broke up, Sean and Marty kind of went their separate ways, and that was
Hold on. No, I know where you're going. But did Marty Jannetty not win the Intercontinental title?
He did. And
did Jim Neidhart win it? I'm just saying, and no disrespect to the dead, because I loved them, don't get me wrong, but why is it always who's the Jannetty of the team? Why isn't it who's the Anvil of the team?
Yeah, I don't disagree. You got a point
and
there.
I am not crapping on him, and I am not saying people are wrong for saying the Jannetty, but it shouldn't just be the Jannetty.
Right. Well, the next moment is iconic. It led up to
iconic.
Gosh, it led up to a big moment. I mean, this was a big moment. It led up to a big, kind of confusing moment. Let's just say it was Sid Justice turning on Hulk Hogan, and that set up their match at WrestleMania 8. Kind of run that down for me, like what happened.
Okay, so Royal Rumble, Sid helps Flair eliminate Hogan, essentially.
Yeah.
He's like, it's every man for himself, and Hogan's getting mad at him. Side note, by the way, that moment was cheered, and Gorilla Monsoon defended it live, but they changed everything for the, what you see on the network and DVD and stuff. It's completely different. Yeah, but, the fans cheered the hell out of it. Dude, Sid was mega over in his day. People don't realize that.
Yeah,
I don't care what his personal opinion on him. I love the guy, too. He was always one of my favorites, but he was mega over. You go watch any of his stuff when he wins titles. People are going nuts for this guy.
Well, even Jim Cornette, who says, he couldn't wrestle for crap. He was like, well, of course he was, because he's been asked, they're like, well, why was he a horseman? He's like, well, just freaking look at the guy. I mean, God, nobody looks like that.
Yeah, he was super over.
It's true, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he had it. That's why people crap on Batista and him and whatever, but I mean, they had the look, bro. And
no, they don't.
Yeah, not that look, bro. But they had the look, they had charisma, and no, they weren't the best on the mic. Sid cut some decent promos, not, the greatest, and he sure had his handful of gaps.
I'll say when he had good ones, they were good. So I'll say that.
Hell yeah. When we reviewed the year 1995 now in the archives, I watched some of his promos back then, and they were good. When he stays in character, he does well. it was only stuff like, it's like, what did he say? I have half the, you have half the brain I do, or I have half the brain you do,
I have half
whatever.
the brain you do.
Yeah, that crap. And there was one where he said something about he eats crap or something like, I don't even remember how he worded it, but it was almost like he was yelling at like Bret Hart, I think, on Raw. And he said,
I ain't, for lack of a better word, crap.
Yeah. It was almost like, if any of you, to make a Happy Gilmore reference, it was like Shooter McGavin there. I eat piece of crap like you for breakfast. Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so anyways, we're getting far away. So he helps Flair eliminate Hogan, and then Hogan's mad at him. They make nice with one another. And then there's a WrestleMania 8 press conference to see who's going to face Flair for the title, and they end up picking Hogan. And Sid's really pissed off and yelling at Jack Tunney. You know, that's a whole nother story, why Hogan and Flair didn't happen. But yet they set it up.
Yeah.
But anyways, then he says, they make nice again. On Saturday night's main event, it's those two against Undertaker and Flair. The good grief, what a four-man match that is.
Right.
And that sets up WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
This was the first...
That freaking match.
This was the first one on Fox, I believe. Or one of the first ones. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If you go back and look at it, the logo is completely different for Saturday night's main event, too. It's completely different.
Yeah, I noticed that it kind of changed designs there at some point.
That's the one where they went to Fox. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was big, but it led to I like how, well, a couple things about Sid here before we move on was Sid was supposed to be the next Hulk Hogan, and he turned it down because he said, I like being a heel better. So he wouldn't do it, even though everybody and their mother in WWF wanted him to do it. And then they led up to this damn match at WrestleMania. Was that the one Papa Shango missed his cue?
Yeah.
Yeah, he missed his cue to run out and break up the leg drop. So Sid had to kick out, which nobody does. And then freaking
Hogan... That alone should have established him right there.
Right. And didn't Hogan win via DQ?
Yep.
Why? He was going away. Like, why did he win?
Because the other way didn't work for him, brother.
Yeah, he stroked his Fu Manchu, like losing to Sid. That doesn't work for me, brother. Having Papa Shango cost him the match, that works for me, brother. Oh my gosh, it was so stupid.
Also, I want to point out that Papa Shango interfered in that match and literally never did anything after that.
Yeah.
Involved in the finish of WrestleMania. Not just another event, not just a match on the card, the finish of the entire event. And literally went on to do nothing.
Yep. And then he came back years later as the Godfather, and that's what we love to remember him as.
Technically, Papa Shango's in the Hall of Fame if you really want to get technical. So think about that. Yeah. And Sid's not. So just think about that.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, maybe, you don't know. Maybe he can't make it to the Hall of Fame ceremony. He's out playing softball. I don't know.
Holy crap.
Had to get one reference in.
You're not even joking either. Okay.
Anyway, maybe if they ever hold WrestleMania in Arkansas, you might have to skip.
No.
I don't think they have a single.
I think you have a better shot at it in Cleveland than you in Arkansas. I'll say that.
Yeah, and think about April in an open arena in Cleveland.
Oh, you're the Cleveland expert. I don't know. Is that bad?
Yeah. Let's just say there's still an over 50% chance that there will be feet of snow that day.
Okay, never mind. Still a better shot than Arkansas, though. I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, I agree. Shawn Michaels defeated the British Bulldog on Saturday night's main event for the Intercontinental title. This was HBK's first title ever.
And Bulldog's last match for that time being.
Really? What, did he go back to WCW?
Well, from what I've heard, he was like heavily on steroids and drugged up, and his back was just jacked up apparently in his whole match. So,
man, which was ironic because
watch it. The back part's believable because the match is not that good.
Which is ironic because he took on a guy who had to retire because of back issues.
Yep, and then Bulldog would go on to damn near break his back in WCW.
Oh gosh,
all this is ironic. Wow,
lots of back issues here. Well,
ironically, Sean probably hurt his back in this match carrying it, too. There you go. There's another one.
Good Lord. Hey, that's why Sean had to retire, because he had to carry a lot of frickin' matches throughout his career. Well, I don't know.
I'm not speaking ill of the dead either, because when I was a kid, I was a huge British Bulldog mark. So
I have a Jax figure of him.
I have a Mattel figure of him.
So do I. I have both. I have a Jax figure of Shawn Michaels, too. A few of them.
I got a Mattel one of him. Boom. Two of them.
I think I
got
have...
this. Shawn Michaels are talking about right now. I have his figure.
I think I have 4 Mattel figures of him. So, and I... Yeah.
You can make your Jax photo for the episode.
Yeah. But anyway, stop nerding out here. The last things we have to cover here. The return in 2006, man. The only big moments I remember is, like, didn't Edge take on John Cena for the WWE title?
Yeah, and then DX versus the Spirit Squad.
Oh, can't forget that one. Epic. Iconic.
Mickey James heel turn on Trish.
There you go, man. And something involving the Big Show, if I remember correctly.
Oh, can't forget about Evander Holyfield versus Matt Hardy in a boxing match.
Oh,
because that's fair.
Well, yeah, man, that's more one-sided than Butterbean versus Bart Gunn. What the hell? Why was that even a thing?
MVP hired Evander Holyfield to take his place or something like that.
There was also the street fight between Shawn Michaels and Shane McMahon.
Probably the best match of its entire return.
I don't remember any of these matches. I vaguely remember Edge versus John Cena because I was hella hyped for it.
You have the network, go watch it.
No. I don't know. I might. After this, I'll say this. I loved the look, bro, of the
We're
show.
messed up.
Yes. I always loved the logo, the color scheme, the sets.
I'll say this too, to your point. Every time I get like a new WWE 2K game, that's like one of the first arenas I go download. So just because of that.
It should be on the game. I don't know why it's not.
Well, it sometimes is, sometimes isn't, but I always get the classic ones just because.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for nostalgia. You know that.
Yeah.
You know me long enough.
I downloaded that and Clash of the Champions, and I got I got them in my universe on 2K. So yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, if any of you want some, I finally uploaded creations that I've been working on forever. Uploaded them to community creations on PlayStation 4. If you look up Pod Res Society, just like the
and just for the record, I believe they are cross-platform, all community creations. So I believe someone told me that.
I'm still seeing people talking about, oh, it's only Xbox, only PlayStation, whatever. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
It should be cross-platform. I don't like. It's the same game. It's easy enough to, they have one server or one whatever. I don't know all the dynamics, but it is what it is. But yeah, so anything else you want to say about Saturday night's main event before we wrap up here?
Yeah, they need to bring it back.
I would say yes, but there's so many pay-per-views, so much content. I feel like it wouldn't be special today. Like it wouldn't.
It'd be nostalgic. That's it.
Yeah, it would. If I
wouldn't mind if NXT brought it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I will say this: I would love it if they replaced a pay-per-view with it. Like have a month where we're like, I
get an idea. Let's axe the Saudi Arabia show. What's with that?
Oh, bad choice of words.
Why?
You said let's axe the Saudi Arabia.
I meant get rid of it. Shut up.
bad choice of words there. But anyway.
Oh, because you brought it up. No one else would have noticed you jerk.
Oh, yes, they would have. Yes, they would. I've heard so many jokes involving that. It's just, and they're not, I don't know if they're jokes, but.
I meant just get rid of it. So.
Yeah, well.
And I'm not even being political. I'm just saying get rid of them because they suck.
They do. There's never been a good one.
Not even talking about it. They've all sucked. So
yes, I mean I realize your local dude there won the biggest battle royal in WWE history, but whatever. Like they're not good. Shane McMahon always goes over in ridiculous fashion.
Well, why wouldn't he? He's the best in the world.
Yeah, that's 3 stabs now. 3. Yeah, I don't know. It's always a crap storm. Nobody likes them. I will ask you: have you seen it yet? Like Super Showdown?
Yeah.
Did you care about any of it?
Just the Undertaker Goldberg match, which turned out not to be good, but that's all I really cared about.
I got into.
I guess part of me thought Brock might leave with the title. Part of me thought that, but
dude, when he got his the thing is. We talked about this last week on the podcast. He flew halfway across the world to come out and get his ass kicked for 60 seconds with a chair, and then he went home. What the
money
hell?
they throw around, I'd do it too. So
that was just so stupid. I'm like, are you serious? Because I was like, well, that's not it. He'll show up later tonight. I honestly thought he was going to come out there and cash in on Kofi at that point. But I don't know. It's I'm glad he didn't. Me and all of my friends are afraid he's going to. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with that one. The Undertaker Goldberg match, I don't know about you, I thought it started off really good until Goldberg knocked himself spark the F oot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment in WCW when he did that?
I do.
Yeah. I brought that up to Taryn last week. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the second time in your career you've done this, you dumb mother effer. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? He's not good with his depth perception. I don't know if he needs contacts or what the hell, but damn, dude. But yeah, he busted himself the hell open. And I told Taryn disagreed with me on this one. I said, I want to see them have a rematch because I think if Goldberg doesn't knock himself out, they could actually have a good match. And Taryn said, I have no interest in ever seeing those guys ever again wrestle. And where do you stand
well, then
on
it shouldn't happen then.
Yeah. Well, where do you stand on it?
I wouldn't mind it. I'd want it to happen here, so it would be quote unquote canon.
Yeah. Everybody says it's that show's not canon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So.
But it is kind of.
So.
Because Shane is still the, quote, best in the world after that. And they're talking about his crap with... I don't know. They're picky. It's well, this is canon, but this isn't, I
wonder if Naked Minion appeared there to be canon.
Well, it would be something. Well, over there, they would have to choppy his pee-pee.
Oh, man.
Got a choppy you pee-pee reference in there. Bam! All right, well, that wraps up the podcast today. We went a little long, but, it's all good in the hood. Next week, I'm not sure what we're going to be coming to you with. Greg and I will discuss
it. Throw it on a poll,
bro! Well, we might throw it on a poll. We'll discuss it, and we'll come back at you at a later time.
If it's up to me, I'm choosing a Naked Minion episode, but that's just me.
I told you that would be really short, all right? It would be a really small episode.
I disagree. It would be very long and very thorough.
Well, and very veiny.
Dude, think about it. We can cover Midian and Phineas Godwin. Come on, dude.
Well, we need to cover beaver cleavage as well on that same episode, and maybe talk a little bit of Dick to Go.
Dick to Go.
All right, that's where. That stuff is just juvenile. I mean, we need to knock it off. That's where we're going to sign off. All right.
We'll come at you. Moment too soon.
We'll come at you all next week. Later.
Later.